Welcome back, Nerd Squad! Some X-Men are more popular than others, and this one is one of them. Often he seems to be underrated, yet steadfastly popular with fans. He's the raging Cajun we all love. He's Gambit. I'm so happy I get to talk to you all about Gambit. I'm also one of those who love his character well, so yes. Many think of Gambit as someone with a pocket full of card tricks and a weird headpiece and cut-up gloves, but he is so much more than that. In fact, he's likely one of the most powerful mutants around when it comes to his full potential. But allow me to explain, as we look at the top 10 superpowers you didn't know Gambit had. And if you love Gambit or Rogue or both of these two as much as I do, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Stick around till the end of this video where I will have some bonus content coming your way. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10. Kinetic Energy. While some who are less familiar with Gambit just think of him as a man with card tricks, the truth is that he is so much more than that. His power isn't just throwing explosive cards, though it might appear that way to the uninformed eye. Gambit's true powers are to kinetically charge any object that he comes into contact with, setting it to explode on impact or time the explosion. He once charged his gum that he was chewing in his mouth and spat it at an enemy when it seemed that he would otherwise be a goner, with a sword at his throat. Ooh. Guess Gambit is lucky he wasn't in Singapore, where importation and selling of gum is illegal. True facts. While he may seem super in control of these powers, he actually constantly fears that he isn't, and even made a deal with Mr. Sinister to help him have more control over them. Yet in the comics, the control he does demonstrate is pretty impressive, making one wonder what a fully in control Gambit would be capable of. We're getting there, we're getting there. Number 9. Poker Master. Remy's love of cards comes from his thieving background. He grew up stealing and gambling and actually earned quite a bit of money doing so, but more about his wealth another time. As such, he has an insane level of skill as a poker player. We see him beat out his X-Men squad in a friendly tournament in X-Men Volume 2, issue 48. It comes down to him and Sam Guthrie, aka Cannonball, who insisted he'd actually never played before, but actually has been playing poker for years with his siblings before coming to the X-Men. Yeah, I've tried that before, Sam, with Catan, so I know your tricks. And he is actually a bit of a pro himself. But even he is no match for Remy. When it seems like Gambit accidentally charged the cards on purpose to make them explode so he wouldn't have to reveal his full final hand, we find out that although he forfeits, he had the winning hand, and chose to throw the game in favor of Sam, as Storm picks up the remnants of his smoking ace, which would have given him a royal flush to Sam's full house. And if you play poker like I do, you should know, royal flush is like the best you can get. Royal flush. Number 8. Super Reflexes and Agility. Have you ever noticed how Gambit almost never misses when throwing one of his cards? Or how he almost never gets hit when others are aiming for him? This is because he has superior reflexes and agility. His movements are basically acrobatic. This helps him as a Master Thief as well, often allowing him to sneak into places and out unnoticed. And it allows him to dodge lasers on a Matrix level, and bullets on a Matrix level actually as well. He has also been able to avoid getting hit by projectiles himself and save others from getting hit by simply being quick enough to catch them, and often throw them back at the people that aim them at him. Number 7. Bojutsu. When Gambit first made his appearance in Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, issue 266, he actually was not seen using his famous playing cards. Instead, we met Gambit with metal spikes in hand, almost like darts. Like many of his fellow mutants, first appearances can be deceiving, and many of the X-Men needed some time to evolve and settle before becoming the iconic characters we know them as today. I mean, look at how much Beast has changed from his first appearance. And in fact, while we've come to know Gambit for his explosive playing cards, he is also skilled with weapons as well, specifically his bow staff. His accuracy both with his staff and anything he chooses to turn into a projectile is impressive. He rarely misses his targets, and even is accurate and skilled enough to use his staff to deflect bullets, and powerful enough to destroy a Danger Room bot with one swift blow of his staff. Number 6. SAVATE. Aside from his skill with his staff, Remy Lebeau is also skilled with his hands as well. I mean, his fists. His fists. He is a master of SAVATE. What does that mean? It means that he is a French kickboxing master. What makes French kickboxing different from English kickboxing? Well, I'm not sure. I assume it's similar, but in French? Oui oui, mon chéri. It's actually like standard kickboxing, but it's more graceful. Fun fact. His hits would also be more powerful using this technique, as he has a supercharged metabolism that makes his strikes land with more force. Nick Fury even said that Gambit was one of the best hand-to-hand fighters he had ever seen. Number 5. Hypnotic Charm. Have you ever wondered why so many ladies have the hots for Gambit? Well, it could be because of this subtle and sometimes lesser known ability. Remy is charming just on his own, but he also possesses a power known as Hypnotic Charm. This power allows him to have slight control over another being through the power of suggestion. Basically like Cajun, Jedi, mind tricks. He can suggest something to you that you might be inclined to follow through with or agree with him on. Some have even suggested that he may have used his influence to make Rogue fall for him. However, this power is not particularly strong, so it is unlikely that this theory is true, and more likely that the two just fell in love organically. Because as soon as someone becomes aware of this power, it ceases to work on them any longer. And it's likely that Rogue, after all this time, would both know about Remy's hypnotic and natural charms. Number 4. Mental defense. Gambit's ability to manipulate kinetic energy means that he is almost always surrounded by it, which grants him an electrostatic field. This basically acts like a mental shield and protects him from those who would probe his thoughts. Professor X once likened trying to get into Remy's mind to trying to hold on to a bunch of snakes. And Psylocke has also struggled when it comes to breaking through Gambit's mental defenses. It doesn't help that Gambit also specifically will focus on misleading thoughts when he feels someone trying to make their way into his mind, which only makes attempting to use telepathy on him feel even more impossible and frustrating. Number 3. Healing factor. While this has never been explicitly confirmed, we have seen Gambit both withstand and recover from a number of devastating blows within a short amount of time. It has been suggested that he may be able to harness kinetic energy in order to heal himself, which might also explain in how Bishop's timeline he survived long enough to be an elderly man who remembered the X-Men and was known as the Witness. If he was actually the Witness, that is. That theory has really never been fully confirmed or denied. Number 2. Molecular manipulation. On the alternate Earth of 9921, Gambit becomes New Sun. New Sun is basically Gambit with his powers unlocked to his full potential. This version of him was so powerful he ended up killing his Earth's Phoenix. His kinetic powers far surpass those of his Earth 616 counterpart, to the point that he can manipulate kinetic energy on a molecular level. He could heat up molecules or cool them down, and could stop a person dead in their tracks. And he no longer had to touch objects to make them explode. He could even transform himself into energy, manipulating his own molecules and converting himself into energy waves. Number 1. Toxic conversion. During Gambit's run as Apocalypse's Horseman of Death, Gambit had this power. He agreed to be one of Apocalypse's horsemen, believing that Apocalypse would be the salvation of the mutants, and that if Apocalypse turned on them, that Gambit would be able to stop him. Fortunately, didn't quite work out as Remy had hoped, and he ended up actually attacking his former teammates, the X-Men. As a result of this transformation, he gained the power to transform air into deadly poison, even once threatening to do so to his own master, Apocalypse, after regaining his sense of self and remembering who he truly was. Thanks for watching, Nerd Squad. Are there any powers you feel like we left out? What are some of his powers that you think make Gambit super cool? How do you feel about the fact that Gambit's solo movie project involving Channing Tatum was cancelled? Let us know in the comments below. I personally was looking forward to hearing what a Cajun Channing Tatum would sound like, but I also feel like Gambit is a really hard one to cast. I'm not convinced anyone would be quite right for that role. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, the Black Widow trailer explained. American Pisa comments, I can't recall a time when you guys have explained a trailer. I like this edition. Thank you. I think we have done it before, but it was like a while ago. Like a while. I remember doing another one, maybe for Avengers Endgame? You can look that up. Michael Hurtlandy says, love the second analysis of the trailer and the bloopers. The loading fist makes sense if wearing some tech like Crossbones, but yeah, looks a bit ridiculous. Keep up the great work. True. I think Crossbones is the only one who would actually be doing something when loading his fist for this reason, but I mean, I kind of love ridiculous little things in fight choreo like that. If you work hard enough to figure out why your character might have those weird like fight mannerisms, they can look as badass as they do silly. Thanks for commenting. And that's all the time we have for comments today. If you want a chance to have your thoughts featured in a future video, be sure to comment below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube. Let me tell you about some Gambit facts. I'll tell you what. I'm dying, it's fine. Okay. Before coming to the X-Man, and is the X-Man. Just one, there's only one of them. One X-Man. It's a lonely crew. Royal Flush. Gotta be lucky to draw those cards. Maybe he also has luck powers. By simply being quick enough to catch them, and often throw them back at the people that aim them at him. Take that. I don't want that. It's like a game of hot potato. Number 7. Bojutsu. Wait, Bojutsu? Bojutsu? I think it's supposed to be Bojutsu. I just spelled it wrong, so. Sorry, you gotta respell that properly. And powerful enough to destroy My voice is still weird, man. It's weird. Is this chicken right way up? Yes. Excellent. And powerful enough to destroy a Danger Room bot with one swift blow of his staff. Blah. You dead. It means that he is a French kickboxing master. He kicks people with his feet and hits them with his hands. And it's likely that Rogue, after all this time, would both know about Remy's hypnotic and natural charms. So it probably wouldn't work on her. His natural charm, however, I feel like that will work on Rogue. She's into it. His natural charm would work on anybody. Ugh. Nick Fury even said that Gambit was one of the best hand-to-hand fighters he had ever seen. There you go, he's not just good at throwing stuff and hitting you with a staff. He can kick you, and it will hurt a lot too, so don't mess with Gambit. Professor X once likened trying to get into Remy's mind to trying to hold on to a bunch of trying to say that line, which is hard. Professor X once sorry. Oh, snot. Let me into her mind, Gambit, just let me in. Gambit's like, no, I don't think so. That theory has really never been fully confirmed or denied. I know they tried to mislead us and be like, probably wasn't him, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it, X-Men. It's all lies. The witness probably is Gambit. Don't try to trick me. And converting himself into energy waves. Ooh, energy waves. It's pretty cool. I wish I could be an energy wave. I want to be little microwaves. He agreed to be one of Apocalypse's horsemen, believing that he would be the salvation of the mutants. And I should say Apocalypse, otherwise it sounds like Gambit's like, I'll be the salvation. After regaining his sense of self and remembering who he truly was. Apocalypse was like, I'm gonna put you back, I'm gonna fix you, make you forget this. He was like, no, I'll poison you. Apocalypse was like, very persuasive, good point.